Hello everyone, Melody Gardenia here, back once again with Tulpa Talks. Hope you guys didn't miss me too much, though of course I'll be very flattered if you did. Anyway, enough with all the headmate introductions, back to Tulpa Talk. This week's video is a very short and basic version of a video that I've been working on for a while, which is a video highlighting and explaining the differences between tulpas and other things that they can be mistaken for, which are most often alters, imaginary friends, roleplay characters, demons, and delusions. I will be putting out a much longer video at some point in the future about what tulpas are and are not, including all of these things, and I may also decide to do separate videos detailing the differences between each of those. But this particular video, as the title suggests, will be just about the differences between tulpas and alters. This video will mostly be a disorganized ramble, but it mainly acts as a short explanation for the differences between tulpas and alters, relatively speaking. So let's get right into it. A lot of misinformed people describe tulpamancy as quote-unquote DID but without the bad stuff. This is a largely inaccurate comparison. While tulpas and alters are similar in some respects, in most other aspects they are vastly different, especially in the way they form and the way they operate within the mind. Alters result from a disorder that can usually only be developed in childhood. Said disorder, either DID or OSDD, develops from trauma such as abuse, neglect, disasters, etc. Some people with this disorder will typically start off with at least one other alter around the time that the traumatic experience occurred, in order to protect the other parts of the mind and personality, and will gain more alters over time in response to future stress or further trauma. Tulpas can form from a variety of circumstances and techniques. The psychological tulpas that I am most familiar with form because of attachments to characters or concepts of characters that appear in one's life, and can develop in the mind either slowly over time or suddenly and all at once. Tulpas can either be created intentionally through various forcing techniques, or can form accidentally from fictional characters or roleplay characters that someone deeply resonates with, or imaginary friends that the host has after childhood or closely resonated with in early childhood. I am an example of a tulpa that has developed from an imaginary friend which my host had later than childhood. This is not to be confused with alters that form based off of fictional characters, roleplay characters, or imaginary friends. Tulpas most often still share the host's memories, as will be explained later, and as such they will usually know that they are not the character but are just based off of that character. Alters, on the other hand, can often be confused and only have memories from their source, and be convinced that they are those characters until otherwise told. Also, such alters would only show up as a result of stressful and or traumatizing circumstances, whereas tulpas can develop at any time. Alters typically have amnesia barriers between them by default. This means that they do not automatically share memories amongst each other, and their experiences while fronting will not necessarily be remembered by the rest of their system. Even for OSDD-1B systems, which is essentially DID but without the dissociative amnesia, there can still be some memory separation in place meant to protect other alters in the system from painful, troubling, or stressful experiences and knowledge. Tulpa systems, by contrast, operate with a default of shared memories. This is because those personalities did not form to protect the host from traumatic or stressful experiences, and thus the brain has no reason to separate the memories. This means that whatever a tulpa does in the headspace or while fronting will be remembered by their host or by other tulpas, unless the system takes time and effort, and a lot of it, to specifically train themselves to separate their memories. To summarize that, tulpa systems typically have to learn memory separation between its members, or otherwise incorporate the idea of having separate memories into the creation process in order to achieve the effect of having separate, though often overlapping and intermingling, memory pools. By contrast, alter systems typically have to work towards memory sharing in order to overcome the amnesia barriers that the brain puts in place by default to protect certain alters. So those are essentially the main differences between tulpas and alters. There are a bunch of other more nuanced differences, but I think this video has been procrastinated long enough, and I think those are the main 2 points that are most important to distinguish between the two of them. So again, I apologize if this was a bit rambly or disorganized, but I've been putting it off for a while, and I just decided to go with what I have, which is not a lot, but like I said, I do plan on making a longer video detailing more things, and I might even make a video series out of it to basically go through the difference between tulpas and other things that they are commonly mistaken for. Please feel free to argue with me if you disagree with anything I've said in this video, or correct me if you think that any of the comparisons and contrasts that I've made are false or inaccurate. I'm very open to civil debate and well-argued criticism. Give the video a big old thumbs up if you enjoyed it, share it around if you think other people can benefit from this information, and subscribe to my channel for more videos about tulpas. I upload every Monday, for the most part. See ya!